Welcome to the GCSE revision with me, Mr. McAvoy. The information within this podcast will cover the revision topic 1.2.1 related to physical activity and your healthy body and mind. Within this podcast, we will be focusing on the different body types evident in sport. By the end of this revision, you should be able to describe the different body types, otherwise known as somatotypes, and the typical sports they are associated with. The term somatotype can be used to describe the characteristics of a sport performer's body shape. Bodies come in all shapes and sizes and can be grouped into three basic types known as somatotypes. We will now look at the different somatotypes in sport. Endomorphs typically consist of mainly body fat. They have little muscle tone, as you can see from the picture. They have large limbs, wide hips and narrow shoulders. Mesomorphs tend to be extremely muscular. They have slim waists and broad shoulders. They typically have a very athletic physique. Ectomorphs tend to have very little body fat and they are very thin in relation to their height. They have a very linear body shape. In other words, their shoulders tend to be the same width as their hips. Certain body types are more suited to certain sports. An analysis of somatotypes reveals that athletes from certain sports tend to be grouped together. Ectomorphs tend to excel at long distance events, such as the marathon. Mesomorphs tend to be involved in sports which require strength and sudden bursts of energy, rather than sustained effort over long distances. Their muscular build often means they are stronger and better able to cope with anaerobic exercise, such as a 100-meter sprint. Endomorphs are often grouped in sports that depend on power, for example forwards in rugby or sumo wrestlers. Their extra body fat means that they can literally get more weight behind themselves or their actions. It is important to remember that each somatotype previously mentioned is an extreme. Most sport performers have characteristics of each somatotypes. For example, the basketballers shown on the page have characteristics of both mesomorph and ectomorph. Their tall, slim body shape is that typical of an ectomorph. Their broad shoulders and muscular build is that evident of a mesomorph. This means that these basketballers can be described as mesomorphic ectomorphs. Have a go at these revision questions. Pause the podcast if you need some time to think. The answers can be found at the end of the podcast. Question 1. Identify the three somatotypes used to describe body type. Question 2. Describe the characteristics of a mesomorph. Question 3. Describe the different characteristics a shot putter may have, making reference to the different somatotypes. Use the picture on the next slide to help you answer this question. Here are the answers to the revision questions. Please take time to read through the answers and make any corrections that you may have missed.